All right, we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Parker, are you ready?
Burger. Bring, bring. Hi.
Say hello to the people with the naked man show.
You know, it's a naked Parker.
It's a naked Parker.
This is Mom. Will you please lift that blanket up so I can get underneath it, please?
Let's go under the covers.
All right, everybody. So, as promised, we're going to do some questions specifically about the babies. And it's before their mealtime now, so we're just going to hang out in here for a while and
I have
answer.
to hang out here because if I get anywhere near them, they scream. And a lot of people think it's so cool to be a tiger mom. Guess what? It really stinks because every time you're there, they scream and scream and scream. So it's no fun at all, to be honest with you.
And they sound like banshees.
It doesn't give it any justice what you've heard. I mean, honestly, you can listen to it on a recording on Facebook or Instagram or on our live feed. But let me tell you, there is nothing compared to what it's like in real life. And hence the reason why my eyes are very sleepy.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started and answer some of these questions.
Okay.
So, all right, first question. Do you think you'll build a new enclosure for the 4 babies or put them in an existing one, or maybe that will depend on if all 4 are still cool being together as adults?
They will all be cool as adults, I believe, because we're going to spay and neuter them all very young. So, like we did with Jakey, JP, Alucia, and Luca, when their reproductive organs are neutralized at a young age, which I think they were done at 4 months, they're just, it's amazing. It's amazing. And she will rule the roost, just like Alucia did. But building a new cage, no. I have some other ideas. You'll just have to wait and see because I've got like 50 ideas.
Is there still a risk, even at a young age, of introducing 2 separate sets of siblings? Say if Leon and Kel were already at care, then you got a call about another 2 non-related cubs of a similar age. Would there be a risk of introducing them to Kel and Leon? Does the risk increase as they get older, like with Noe and Wally?
Risk definitely increases as they get older, especially when you're mixing males and females. Noelle and lions are a different story than tigers are. Tigers are much more dangerous to introduce, especially full grown. These guys are little. There's no issue really. Up to like 6 months, maybe a year old, you're going to have, between 6 months and a year, you're going to have spats and things like that. But usually they're going to either like each other or hate each other, and you'll know pretty quick. But the kill thing starts after a year old. They're dangerous. They're dangerous even when they're little. I could show you the back of my ear, which has a huge gash from the big boy. Don't even underestimate that guy who only weighs 15 pounds. Razor blade teeth.
So when did they start living outside, and how is the winter going to affect that?
They already are outside. I haven't done the live feed the last couple days because we've been getting it ready for the indoor-outdoor. They can go outside already now. All day long, except when it gets real cold. If it's like down 30s or something like that, we'll probably lock them inside.
And they're about 8 weeks old right now.
They're about 8 weeks old right now. So, yeah, this is about the time whenever they start to be able to maintain their body heat a little bit. So, yeah, they're fine to go outside right now. Like I said, they're on their outside cage. We used to just put them out during feeds, but now they have the run in and out. I didn't lock them in until 11 o'clock last night, to be honest with you.
It was pretty nice.
It was nice out. And it's really nice?
No screaming tigers?
No. They go outside to go pee. Already. Except little girl. I call her Piddles a lot because she likes to piddle here and there and everywhere. So it's every little thing that is different, you worry, because then I worry, oh my gosh, are her kidneys okay? Why does she piddle so much? Because she was inside. She peed 3 rivers of urine while the 4 boys went outside and went pee when I came in. So, yeah, there are some pluses when they go outside, for sure.
So how do you manage to get any sleep?
Not.
Oh. Speaking of living outdoors, Alex, our lead keeper, is out there constructing a little habitat play area for
I
the
don't know.
cubs.
Have we announced the chickens yet?
No.
Okay, so Alex had a little project with Destiny and Alex project, and the interns helped, but it was mostly Destiny and Alex had their first solo building project, and that was to build a chicken coop. You'll get to meet all of that disaster in a little while. Not a disaster, it's really cool. We use a lot of eggs, so that was a way for us to get eggs that we know are definitely cage-free. So Alex said when she finished, she goes, I love building. This is amazing. I love using saws and drills and all this stuff. And I said, well, sit down. So the interns and we all met, and I came up with a design plan for new ramps and housing for the baby tigers for their outside little habitat. So they're building it today.
Yeah. So if you hear all that background noise, that's Alex out there sawing wood. Okay, back to the question. How do you manage to get any sleep, especially after like Leon had his scare? How do you cope with the anxiety?
Sometimes not too well. One of the reasons why we're filming inside, let's be honest here, it's because I'm not feeling so hot today. The stress kind of builds up after time. It's just like being a new mom in a lot of ways. I do very well Destiny is amazing, so I have her assistance a lot, but she was sick all last week, so it was kind of solo Heidi most of the time, and I think I got a little bit behind in sleep, and just it's exhausting. You worry all the time about babies. When you have one baby, if you're a mom, or if you have a cat or a dog or anything that you have at home, when you have one, it consumes so much of your energy when they're sick or fragile like these. All four of them are very fragile. They're young, so they're fragile. And then we have our normal stuff to worry about, don't forget. And we've been, I have been worried about the cats out there because I'm in here so much, and, so I don't do really well. Nobody can. You do the best you can. That's all you do. You get through it, and then you sleep for a few days and get over it.
All right, next question. Parker, this is for you. What do the domestic cats think of the new babies, since they are about the same size?
There are 4 letters. It does not begin with an L. OVE. It is a HATE. Much hate. Much hate. Parker wants to rip their faces off. I brought one in this morning because he was fussy during our board meeting. And of course it was Leon, because he heard me talking in the dining room, which is where we have our board meetings near the sunroom. And yeah, pretty quickly, when he's in there, he'll find Richard Parker, and you'll hear, and then the baby tiger run away crying because he's sliced him with his claw. Bad boy. No tigers allowed. Or lions.
Speaking of Leon, y'all don't tell anybody, but today when I posted the new names of the 2 other boys, I accidentally posted a picture for the big boy of Leon.
Leon and him look a lot alike.
They look a lot alike.
They really, but honestly, when they're together, they look nothing alike.
But just looking at pictures.
But when you look at them in pictures and you can't see the size difference.
Well, and here's the thing,
or the shaped leg.
Here's the thing, too. You don't realize how quickly they grow. So I had pictures that I took last week.
Yeah.
And that's what I was looking at to compare. So I knew I was posting the right one. Mm-hmm. Their markings have already changed a little bit because they're growing. I mean, even in a week.
Their fur grows out and it's just going to move that fur around to how they're.
So anyway, y'all don't tell anybody, but it was Leon. Supposed to be Idris, but it was Leon. But don't tell anybody. No one will know.
No one will know. Oops.
Leon's
my favorite. Don't let anybody know that either. But I love him so much, and I sneak him out of the sunroom all the time, and I hold him and I kiss him, and I tell him I love him, and he screams and yells, ah! And I'm like, but I still love you! And he's spoiled so bad, it's not funny. Because he's the worst baby in there. He bites all the other ones really hard. He's mean. He's rough and bad, and gosh, I love him so much. He's a little devil.
Amy Smith wants to know, where are they going to be in January when she comes to visit?
Hi, Amy. Probably still in the sunroom. I'm not sure though. Probably still in the sunroom.
And someone else asked, where will they be during the fall festival?
They will be exactly where they're at right now at Fall Fest. And that is when we're going to let the world be introduced to these beautiful 4 babies who are going to scream the whole time because they think they're going to need a baba all the time.
Look at all the people that could be feeding us babas.
Yes.
Yep. Which is, they have a little yard area. If you haven't been watching the live feeds, they have a little yard area off of the sunroom that they can go out into. So that's what they'll be.
And a little live feed info up front for you guys is that I'm only going to do 1 live feed a day for an hour. It's just been it's too much, and they need so much more one-on-one time, and it's way too hard to have the live feed and try to be quiet, and then I'm in here, I have to be cleaning the whole time, so I'm clanking and making noise, and I think that it's going to be a lot better if we do better quantity, or quality rather than quantity. So I'm going to try to do an hour a day, 1 time a day.
All right.
Starting today, because I didn't do any yesterday, or this morning because we had a board meeting, and I was cleaning the early feeding.
It's about to wear Heidi out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so Allison Brooks was asking how old are the cubs and how the cubs came into the care of care. So Allison, if you go back on any of our social media, we've got all their information, and we'll be adding that to a bio page on the website very soon. But all that information's on our social media, how and why they're here. They're about 8 weeks old now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can find all that information on our website and on our social media. So Colleen Rose asks, did the babies act like they knew each other when they were reunited?
No.
And what were their reactions to seeing each other?
I need a bottle. They could care less. The 2 new ones, you wouldn't know the difference between them and the others. They acclimate very quickly, and they're haven't missed a beat. Little girl hangs out with Idris a lot. They didn't know each other, but they don't care at this age. They are more focused on getting a bottle, being held, having all their needs met. You could put 50 tigers in there and they wouldn't care as long as they got their bottle.
Okay. Let's see. Another question. If I remember correctly, the newer cubs, meaning Boomer and Slade and Mika and Zara, required higher fences on their enclosures. Will these 4 need an enclosure raised or a new one for their enjoyment? We already
Well, one of the ideas, honestly, I talked about, said, oh, I have a lot of ideas, but one of the ideas is to put them in Sydney and Ross's. Because Sydney and Rossa were supposed to be in there temporarily anyway, but I'm really working hard on getting Slade, Boomer, and Ezra new enclosures built. Started doing a little bit of grant writing for that, so the 3 will be moved so Sydney and Rossa can go home. They don't really need that huge space, to be honest with you. They don't really utilize it, but 3 little baby tigers would sure enjoy that space.
4 baby tigers?
Did I say 3?
Yeah.
3 boys and a girl. That's what I was saying. But yeah, I think that enclosure would be perfect for them. Lots of water. I mean, the waterfall would be great for 4 tigers. And it'd be a nice use of that space. We'd have to just come up with a little bit more housing, but besides that, it'll be fine.
All right.
And yes, Slade and Boomer are having a fortress built.
Yes.
Ezra is, not that he needs one, but he needs to be by Slade because he loves Slade more than anything in the world, and Slade loves him. Still don't know what to do with Bob Boomer because Boomer loves Princess now.
Oh boy.
I know. I need a big circle where everybody could be together.
Okay, so another question. I remember someone asking if the cubs got to spend time with the house meows so that they could learn how to cat, and Heidi said no, she would prefer they learn how to dog. I was wondering why, meaning what's the difference with the tiger learning to dog instead of learning to cat?
He bites me every day. Yeah, he bites me every day. I don't want them biting me every day. Dogs are much more gentle and loving. This guy is into. I love Richard Parker. Look at that. He's a great guy, but he is also a devil. He is a devil and cute stripes. I mean, he. You don't understand. At night, he wakes me up to this all the time. Like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. There's monsters in here, mommy. Hold me. I mean, and dogs don't do all that stuff. Dogs just come in. If I called Gibson, which he was in here a minute ago, he would put, see, look it. Did you see that? Just grabbed a hold of my hand because I stopped biting him or petting him. So dogs are much more mellow and easygoing than cats. I'm much more of a dog person. You people will understand that soon. I love Parker very much, but I am much more of a dog person and personality-wise. See? Look, people. Why would I want that in a tiger?
Okay, speaking of dogs and mouthing, or biting, is the mouthing that Bubs does with the cubs similar to what their mom may have done?
Absolutely.
When they bite too hard?
Yes, absolutely. But, I mean, Bubs doesn't do anything compared to what the mothers actually do to them. A lot of times what she'll do is she'll just take her foot and just put him on top of her. And I mean, and they scream and they, and she doesn't care. She's putting her foot there and she is letting them know that this is inappropriate behavior. And that is a similar technique of what I use, very similar to the mom. If the tigers get real aggressive and they start biting with intent to hurt. I mean, because there is biting where they're playing and they're doing all that and they'll bite by accident and then I try to get their attention away. But if they're biting with intent to hurt another tiger, especially like a lot of times Leon does that, he'll go around and grab and bite their neck and hold them down in a bad way. I will grab him and hold him down. Just hold him down to let him know this is, and tell him no, and just hold him down. And then that way he's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't like that. That was very ugly, and that hurt my feelings. And honestly, that works better than any kind of discipline you can give a tiger, is to just hold them down like the mother does. And let them know you're disappointed, because honestly, they want to please you. Just like a dog, or not a cat, like a dog. Going back to that dog question. Yeah.
All right. And he's so good with them. I mean,
he really is. He's amazing
so
with them, but he does. Sometimes he does get, he has this thing that's really common for German Shepherds, and he did it with Gibson. He put his whole head in his mouth, and he does that with the baby tigers too. He'll drag them around by their heads. That's a mother behavior. I don't really know where where Bubs got that as a male German Shepherd. That's like a female motherly thing. Maybe somebody can tell me that has a German Shepherd why that's that way with him. Maybe that's common. The mother tigers, when they pick up their young, they don't pick them up by the scruff of their neck. That's too hard. Their mouths are massively huge, and you have this little teeny baby. They usually they'll pick them up either their teeth around the belly, or they'll put their whole head in their mouth. I had a lioness once that picked up her babies by their tail. They just don't, a scruff is too hard to pick up. So that is how they carry them a lot of time, is just put their whole head in their mouth.
So that goes to another question. Someone was asking about picking them up and moving them by their tails.
I move them by their tails sometimes when they're trying to run away.
So someone asked, when you're feeding them, we've seen you help them out of your laps by the tails, since it clearly...
Oh, that's to help them down, so when they jump down, they don't hurt themselves.
Yeah, that was what she was asking.
When they're babies, they'll jump off things and then they'll fall on their face, and their depth perception is off. And so I'm sure if any of you have been around any puppies, kittens, dogs, when they go to jump off everything, it's like everything's so dramatic. It's like, this huge jump, and then they make this giant jump, and it's only this big. and they overreact. And so that's what tigers do. And so to protect them, especially on harder floor substances, if they're in here on the carpet, we usually just let them tumble. But if they're in there in the sunroom on the harder floor, I usually grab a hold of their tail when possible to just kind of lower them down easier, or to be able to pull them back if they do start to go towards their head. So it's just like a training mechanism to kind of train them to make jumps until their depth perception is better.
Gotcha.
It's not like we're dragging them or pulling them around by their tail, but it's just more of a helping.
And they don't care.
Oh no, they don't care at all. They're like, oh, thank you. And a lot of times they'll walk back and forth and they'll fuss until I grab their tail. And they're like, thanks, and then they'll jump right down. They're like, okay.
Like a little safety net.
It really is. It's a safety net.
All right. Well, we'll.
Oh, there's Gibson.
Oh, there's Gibson.
Devil, just come up here and say.
We'll get to some more questions in just a little bit, so we'll get back to you.
Hi to the people.
Hold on a moment.